Good morrow, my funky face tubers. Robbers D here with another magic secret revealed. This one will be fairly quick and quite surprising. I've had some requests in my inbox for Derren Brown. The requests are as follows. Roberts D, can you show me Derren Brown's heartbeat trick? Thank you are. And do some Derren Brown. Okay, so I'm going to explain how he walks on glass and stops his heartbeat. Let's take a quick look. I'll fast forward some of the unimportant fluff.
Around that time, who went under the name of the Great Prestoni, that was the name that he used. And what Prestoni did, no one has done since him. Prestoni was able to cut off the oxygen to his brain, and it allowed him to achieve two things. First of all, he could be cut, and he wouldn't bleed because it affected the flow of blood throughout his whole body. And secondly, he could withstand massive amounts of pain in relative comfort. And Prestoni was one of a tiny handful of people in history that have done this using real glass. And I became obsessed with this man. I studied everything I could to do them. I spent time with his two daughters that he taught his act to, and they taught it to me. And for me, it's an honor, genuinely, to be able to perform this in such a prestigious theater. Prestoni died a drug addict and an alcoholic. Because that state that he put himself into, it's called cerebral anoxia. It's a lack of oxygen to the brain. It's incredibly addictive. And I shouldn't say this, when you come out of it, it's euphoric. Then that can lead to an addictive personality, which is ultimately why Prestoni died in the way that he did. First of all, I'm going to ask you to take my pulse. If you take the pulse with your right hand here, and then with your left hand to tap out the pulse that you feel on the end of the mic with the drumstick. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, fairly comfortable with that? Yeah. Does it seem a little fast or quite relaxed?
No, quite regular.
Quite regular, great, okay. So in order to do this and to put myself into the state that Prestoni would, I'm going to put a plastic bag over my head. Would you take the bag off for me, Ruth? So look, I'm not going to suffocate, thank you, because I'll be holding onto the bag, all right? So if I did pass out, air would come up into the bag and I'd be fine, all right? So if you were just as a nurse or as a physiotherapist, please resist the urge to pull the bag back off my head. As we do this, I want you to carry on taking my pulse, all right? Yeah. Now, the point is the pulse should change. It's really important that you accurately reflect on that, what you feel in my arm, all right? Can you feel anything?
Wow. So Derren really dresses this trick up as mentalism. First off, let's get walking on glass out the way. Now, I'm not suggesting you try this at home, kids, so don't do it. Now, walking on glass doesn't really class as a magic trick. In fact, I was very surprised at just how many non-tricks were in this particular stage show of Derren's. Many self-help seminars actually have normal members of the public walking on glass, or a bed of hot coals, or even bending metal rods with their necks. It's a very simple trick. Walking on glass works on the same principle as lying on a bed of nails. Let me try and explain. Any one of us can walk on glass. It's all about the principle of weight distribution. This is a foot. Now, if you were to stand on one piece of glass, it wouldn't be very pleasant. But if we increase the amount of glass, then our weight is distributed evenly, thus allowing anyone to walk on broken glass. Obviously, you have to shuffle your feet a little, and also we see Derren picking bits of glass out of his foot at the end. This is just pantomime. Any pieces that are stuck are due to the heat and sweat on his foot. It's just a case of miming that it's stuck in there. Now, onto the trance state and stopping his heartbeat. The volunteer isn't a stooge, so let's get that out the way. And the secret to this is a golf ball. What? Yes, you heard right. I've used this trick many times when I used to work as a magician, and it's very simple. Located in your armpit is the arm's biggest artery, the axillary artery. Now, to stop your pulse, and I don't recommend doing this for too long, you simply hide a golf ball or similarly sized ball in your armpit. It's made easier to keep in place due to Derren's waistcoat. Then, as you squeeze your arm together, the ball cuts off your axillary artery's blood flow, thus stopping your pulse. The plastic bag on his head as well, to make it look more dramatic, I suppose. So there you have it, walking on glass with weight distribution and stopping your pulse with a golf ball. Don't forget to subscribe, rate and request more tricks. I'll catch you later, daters.